After now starting my third year learning mechanical engineering, the title of this video is more true than you could believe. I genuinely feel like a fraud and a professional LARPer. I thought that when I took up this major, I would be actually learning and understanding real engineering stuff, but right now, I feel like the memories in my head are just buzzwords and math equations that they're not proof of a proper education for someone who's been doing this for over 2 years now. Genuinely, the stuff I know now that I've spent about 5 semesters learning, if you count summer, I feel like it would take a few months for pretty much anyone to learn it. And that isn't because I'm dumb, okay? Despite what I might sound like right now, I've maintained a 4.0 GPA. Like, I've got an A in every class. It's not that it's hard or anything. It's just that most of the stuff I'm learning doesn't feel like it'll be any help to me when I look for a job. And as of right now, it doesn't feel like I've learned much more about what mechanical engineering even is. So, out of the, let's say, 25 classes I've taken so far, I want to say that maybe 3 or 4 of them have actually consisted of doing something that brought me closer to being an engineer. The other classes pretty much have just been teaching me math that I can only describe as unnecessary or straight up weed out classes with the sole purpose of thinning out the ranks. But besides feeling like I'm wasting my time, the worst part is when I talk to my friends who are studying things outside of my major, especially the architecture students. Okay, I have a couple of friends doing architecture, and when you hear them talk to each other, they genuinely sound like they're doing stuff that people in real life are doing. They have these crazy projects. They design buildings, train stations, schools, just really cool stuff with a lot of freedom and creativity involved. And when any of them or anyone else, when they ask what I'm doing, it's like, what am I even supposed to say? I just finished physics 2 and differential equations. Like that's nothing impressive. Though it's just math. Like, I have nothing to show for the years that I've been taking these classes. And don't get me wrong, I've had some classes that I've enjoyed. Like, there was a 3D design and printing class, but it's crazy to think that after I finish this year, I have one more left, and then I'm expected to be prepared for real-world engineering. There are other students in the same year as me who, when you hear them talk, it's as if they already have years of experience in the field. Like, they just know so much about some topics that it's crazy. Like, it feels like I would not be able to know that unless I was like going out of my way to learn it. And I know that's why they know it. They know it because they're going out of their way to learn stuff on their own, or their hobbies are all engineering related. But it's like, if that's the case, then what's the point of doing all the formal education in college? Like, is it just for the degree? I was under the impression that by signing up for mechanical engineering, I would learn the things I need to become a mechanical engineer. So when I talk to other people who ask me about what I want to do when I graduate, I genuinely don't even know what to say. I'll just say some generic bullshit like, I want to design something, I want to, like vague things that I can think of. It doesn't even make sense. I'm literally just LARPing being an engineer. Last semester, when I had the 3D printing class and my sophomore design class, was the only time I actually felt like I was doing something engineering related. But even then, the projects, they're not really comparable to what an engineer would work on in the real world. They're very small scale, low stakes, just very small projects. And you know what? One of the worst parts about being a fraud is that everyone thinks that you're impressive. Okay, that's it. They'll ask questions about stuff expecting me to know the answer because I'm an engineering student and I must be so smart. And then I have to either LARP a response or just say some generic BS. I don't know if this is some sort of bias I'm experiencing where it's like, the more you know you don't know. Because I feel like every time I learn a new concept, I'm over here with 3 new questions and like 5 things I don't understand. And some of the classes that steer away from math and explore actual engineering concepts, but are still math heavy, they just feel like a roller coaster. And when it comes time for a test, it's as if it's a challenge to see how much math I've memorized being able to do without actually fully understanding the concept of what I'm even doing. Like, I just memorized which values to put where, but I don't know what they mean or what they're for. Apparently, I'm supposed to have junior design next semester, and after that, senior year is going to be mostly a large group project. But guys, genuinely, I don't know how I'm going to do any of that because I literally don't know anything. So what I've gathered, or assumed actually, is that if I want to learn, then I need to find real-world experience. But that feels kind of hard when I'm competing with young geniuses for scarce internships. I can't stress enough how crazy it is to learn something and be confused. And then you look over at some other people and they just know this stuff like they were born with it. And the worst part is that I feel like more of a fraud Not because they do better than me, but because I do better than them. These people always seem smarter than me, like they know what they're doing all the time, and the stuff we're learning in class is just a waste of time for them because it's so easy and small that they just know it like a high schooler learning 2 plus 2. That's the vibe I get from them. They just know everything, and the little stuff we're trying to learn just seems so easy for them, it's like a waste of time. And then after observing that from these people, after all that, I end up outperforming them in assignments and tests. And I know that should make me happy, but it just makes me feel like more of a fraud, because it's like, I don't even know how to put it. Like, okay, these really smart guys know all about this stuff, and all about other things that are levels above this. But I did better than them on the test, and I don't really understand this stuff that much. Because of stuff like that, I'm genuinely concerned that I'm just memorizing useless information and regurgitating it onto a paper, while these guys can actually build projects and hold conversations about the topics we're learning about. Like, I'm focusing too much energy on getting A's in my class and not just doing things to learn and apply stuff on my own. And I know that learning and doing projects on your own is important, but someone like me who hasn't always been passionate about engineering, like it hasn't been the main focus of my life, I really just chose it because it seemed interesting and I was good at math. It's hard to just jump into a project and start doing something without having some guidance from a teacher or a professor or something like that. And because of that, it's easier for me to just focus on pouring all of my energy into the classes and the coursework than it is for me to go out of my way to try to start a project on my own, like these other people can. For example, in the design class, they would guide our projects and we had tests still. And I would do better than my friends on the tests in that class, but whenever we got a project that basically said to make something that solves a problem we could think of, the things my friends would design were genuinely leagues above anything I would have been able to do. Despite the fact that I could score better than them on tests, their actual projects were always better than mine. And I know comparison is the thief of joy, and I shouldn't spend too much time comparing myself to others. But at the same time, it's pretty hard not to when I'm spending most of my time in classes with them and talking to them, and I hear the things they talk about and I don't know any of it. And it's like, when I try to join in on a conversation, I just have to LARP myself through it, and it just makes me feel so fraudulent. It's crazy. Like, I don't even feel like I belong in the buildings that I spend most of my time in, because everyone in those buildings is just sounding like a professional engineer already. Like, it's crazy. I guess I might have had the wrong expectations, but I still feel like it shouldn't be this way, because I can't be the only one who's going through this major and taking the classes properly and doing whatever and still feeling so behind. Especially when on paper, I'm doing better than most of the other people in the major. It's just, it still feels like I'm behind somehow. I don't really know how to explain it. Anyway, ranting about this made me feel a little better and a little worse. But if you felt like this before or feel like this now, leave a comment about your experience. Just tell me how you got through it or how you are getting through it or anything. I just need to know that there are other people who are feeling like this. All right. Peace.